Well, last week I talked about playing our part in the great symphony and how important and inspirational music can be. And this week we get a reading from Amos that includes verses like, "Take away the noise of your song. I will not listen to the melody of your harps." The lectionary can be pretty great sometimes, but it can also be a lesson in why you shouldn't proof text, take only a verse here or there, and lift them out to apply universally to everything, or specifically to whatever you want something to say. We can't do that. We always need context. So what's going on here? What kinds of songs are these that Amos is talking about? Well, this was likely written in the time 20 to 60 years prior to the exile of the Northern Kingdom. It was a time of comfort and ease for some. And that comfort and ease often came at the expense of others. It was a time of disparity between the haves and the have-nots, when some could and would feast and sing and dance while others were impoverished. That's not God's hope for the world, and the prophet says so. Care for all is needed, but it is not being done. Now, there could be this attitude that, if we'll all be okay someday, then, or an attitude of, it is what it is, and you can't fight that. Why bother to worry about it now? Or don't look at it too closely. Just enjoy the party, the luxuries. What difference could I really make anyway? There can be that attitude that it doesn't matter, it couldn't matter what I do in the meantime. But it does. And thinking of that, let's turn to our reading from Matthew. A wedding party, and some guests, bridesmaids, waiting on the groom, and what they do in the meantime. The wise ones bring extra oil, not necessarily expecting a delay, but ready for whatever might happen. And it's just a flask. It's not a jug or anything like that of oil, but enough to get through if they need it. The foolish don't bring the extra oil with them, and when their lamps go out, they demand that the others simply hand over what they need, what they want. What are the foolish ones thinking? Are they thinking, it's fine, it doesn't matter, as long as I'm here for the fun, someone else will bring or will have what I need, and I can just have it, even if it's at the expense of their participation? They demand that the others just give them the supplies that they didn't go and get. Not that they couldn't have, but they just didn't. And there's a difference. Where's the thoughtfulness and consideration in that? Sometimes I think we can manipulate ourselves or others by claiming virtue, right? You should simply give whatever is asked of you, or you should forgive no matter what it is someone has done or demanded. Or, kind of to the other extreme, you don't have to do anything. Don't worry if this comes last in the list of priorities. You'll be fine. No effort needed. Do we hear the lesson of Amos echoing in this? I think so. I think this is another case of where it matters what you do in preparation and in the meantime, in life. The oil might be resources, things expected to be taken from someplace and shared or distributed in another. The oil might also be something else, both and or neither, either. And you might see something different here. Parables do that. But I read this, at least this year, as a warning against being dismissive of the lessons we've been taught, being dismissive of priorities or thoughtfulness or consideration. Because there will be a line at some point that we can't just demand another give us this or that, because they won't have it. Or they'll see through the request and won't give it. The answer will be no. It's a lesson in consideration, prioritizing, and realizing that what you do in the meantime, in preparation, matters. It does. Do we expect someone to explain or excuse or forgive over and over the things we say or do in ignorance? Or is there a point at which we could take a class or read a book? Is there a point at which someone is so hurt or demanded of that they don't have to say it's okay again just because someone said sorry again? Do we fail to realize the little things that do get taken care of because someone is thinking of that? And so instead of saying thank you, we say, you missed a spot. Or an extra set of supplies would have been nice. Or there was that other opportunity, implying that you should do more. I can see this parable as being very good news to those who have been demanded of, to just get the supplies or explain the concept again or give me whatever it is I want you to give me. And a wake-up call to those demanding. And to be clear, I don't see this as an argument against giving or charity or anything like that, because the other bridesmaids do go to the market to get more oil. It's not about that. If they couldn't acquire the oil they needed for some reason, this would be a different parable. But it's not. So don't go to that extreme either. Giving, charity, aid, all of that is important and good and necessary. This is a different lesson. And next week will be yet a different one with a new angle. So come back again to talk about another aspect of our lives and how these sacred stories of our faith help us and challenge us to think about that too. Amen.